What's going on, everybody? Core Conversations for Friday, Freestyle Friday. Great time of the week. My name is Martin. This is what we do every day from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Dad goals as always. Hope you guys are doing well. And so this is going to be a real quick conversation. So I'm going to talk about what we're doing this evening. I have some guests who will drop in, and you are welcome to join me as well in the chat section if you're watching this on replay. And also check out the podcast. We have a Core Conversations podcast on Spotify, Apple, everywhere that you get your podcast. So the podcast is available for you to download, and it's a recap of what we do here. So I recycle our conversations. Have a conversation, even the Freestyle Fridays or the freestyles that we do, we have guests who pop in and have some amazing conversations. Those, like we did this week, can be the podcast as well. So you may not be the person booked in for my conversation, like Dominique Wilkenfield, what's going on, or Shona, how are you guys doing? So you can be in the podcast by simply just being part of the conversation. We've had some amazing dynamic chats lately. So thank you so much for making this a movement where every voice gets amplified, every hero gets seen, and everyone's vision gets heard. So you all are doing amazing, amazing work. Palermo Pilates, Leslie, I see you. I'll have you on in just a minute. And so that's what's up. It's been a really good week. Hi, Lisa. Hope everyone's doing well. And yes, so here's the deal. I'm going to bring on Palermo Pilates, and she and her team did a Pilates symposium just recently that happened in Italy. I think it is some part of Italy. I will find out all the details. I want to highlight stuff that happens. What can we do? How can we support them throughout the year? Who was there? What did they do? What's the vision? Everyone does these things, and sometimes we don't know what's happening in other parts of the world, so I'm going to bring them on right now. And I've given it some thought. What Anita was saying during our conversation earlier this week about doing a Core Conversations conference. I've had over 300 guests. We've been doing this and just celebrating the amazing people. And I'm going to start visioning for that and what that would look like for next year to do that. Who knows? So anyway, so we'll see what goes on. I'm going to bring her on right now just for a quick chat, and then we will jump into the rest of what we got to talk about today. Hi, Effie.
Hey, Martin. Hey.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a celebrity moment because I've seen so many of your lives. It's like, oh, am I really talking to Martin now?
I'm the furthest thing from a celebrity in my own mind. I call it almost like, I look at it like these are like you're meeting your pen pal or something, right? Like you chat with people, you text, and then you see them for the first time. So it's more of like a pen pal meeting more than like celebrity meeting.
I like that idea. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So so I know you don't have a lot of time, but I just wanted to hear about your conference, what you did. We just missed it. Usually I do this before to get people to sign up and jump on board, but this is a kind of an after thing. But yeah, just love to hear.
But don't worry, you're still in time for the next one, which will be at the end of June next year.
Okay, there we go.
That's usually when I've done this symposium here in Palermo. I'm in Sicily, so on the little island that the boot of Italy is kicking. Mm-hmm. I'm not Italian, as you can tell, and I'm originally from Nebraska, but I've been living here for 16 years with my husband.
I never would have guessed a Nebraska accent in Italy, but yes.
Anything is possible. That's what my story should say. Even somebody from Nebraska can live in Italy. So anyway, we just finished the symposium. I started the Palermo Pilates Symposium in 2016 because I call myself a Pilates bastard, really, because I had done a little Pilates at the University of Wyoming. Then I moved here and I started doing Pilates at a gym with a teacher who kind of took me on as her apprentice, and I started working at a gym, and I realized I needed more training. And so I went looking for teachers, and I was trying to teach myself exercises. I bought a reformer and I started self-teaching myself. So in 2016, I decided I wanted to create this symposium here as a way to bring teachers to me so I could continue my studying. And so that was the intention behind it. And the first year we had about 25 people, and it was a lot of work, but it was a great event. It was very, had a very family type feeling.
Yes.
And I decided, this is something I'd like to continue. And so I repeated in 2017, skipped a year in 2018, then I did it again in 2019 and had planned on 2020, and then COVID happened. So this event was really special now, being able to meet all together after we've all been, so digital and close, but far away. So it was really nice to meet in person again.
So what was your attendance like this year? No, not that it's all about numbers, but just out of curiosity, seeing as you had 25.
Well, it's important to know how I organize my event. I know some people like to do conferences where they're like 3 different programs. So maybe you're in group A, I'm in group B, and somebody else is in group C, and they follow the different programs. I don't really love those kind of programs because I'm always thinking about what the other people are doing that I'm missing while I'm doing my thing.
Suffer from FOMO in your middle of a conference.
Right?
Yes.
So I've always kept my conference a little bit smaller in a way that everybody can do the whole program. So when I was doing the regular conference, I limited it to 70 people. This year, it was in a little bit smaller venue, and considering COVID and the distancing measures, I had 50 people.
That's fantastic, yeah.
But, like I said, it's kind of keeping everybody on the same program. You get to know the people over the same 3 days. The presenters get to know them too. And you really feel like you did, a little personal growth path over 3 days, both with the presenters and the participants there. So I think that's something that maybe distinguishes my event from other great conferences that are organized around the world. Yes,
and thank you. Yeah, and thanks for saying that. And I like to have had people from the Global Pilates Conference and others, and they're all great, and they all have different, even Brink, right? Like, I'm going to be speaking at Brink in November again. I guess you should tell Jenna that I'm confirming. I just did it publicly first. But that sort of thing where there's so many different modalities and for the different ways that people learn.
Yeah.
That's one thing. For the ways that we, like the way that we want to present it, just logistically for you, what's easier, all these different things.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of stuff that ties into that. So you started this basically just from the perspective of wanting to create a learning opportunity for yourself and for others in the Pilates community locally.
Exactly.
Love that.
And in the meantime, I found my teacher. I've done an official teacher training. So now I am a fully certified Pilates teacher. But that whole process came about through the relationships and the people.
Oh, you
can you hear me? Sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
So I said that I found my teacher and my training list. Oh, I see Sunny's writing their bucket list. I'm waiting for you to come visit me, Sunny. So this is how I find my I found my teacher and my teacher training, and it really was kind of the start of everything for me to really finalize my Pilates career and understand what direction I wanted to take it in.
Yes.
It's great. The conferences are an amazing experience to meet so many different teachers and see their approaches. So you can really find the style that resonates with you and then decide to, invest in that path of training.
Yes. My wife is in fitness as well, and she used to say, shop your instructors.
Oh, I like that.
Right? Because we think that we just have to go with the person closest to us or whatever it is. And
that's
us
as
as professionals, we get it too, right? So I'd love for someone to come in, try a class. If it resonates with them the way that I teach, then we move forward. If not, let them know that they're free to go.
Exactly.
So they can find their rich experience with you, because I would say personal training is personal. If you connect with me, then you're going to get your results. If you don't connect with me, you might get results, but you're not going to stick around. As soon as you get your results, you're gone.
Exactly.
Right?
I totally agree. And I think it's important what you said, to let the person be free to decide. If you're talking about a teacher looking for a teacher training or clients coming to the studio, creating that environment where this is who I am, this is what I have to offer. If you're interested, you're welcome. If it's not for you, then maybe I can even help you find somebody else who's what you're looking for.
Absolutely. That's the other piece. And I talk about those referrals. Like that's not just like other fields, but other, Pilates instructors who may have a different point of emphasis, may have something that's a different niche. Like
Yeah.
those are the people that we need to have in our hip pocket to say like, oh, you have this issue, or you want a guy, oh, you want this, oh, you want that. Like I know someone that might be a better fit for you.
Or, oh, you're in a different neighborhood, you want something closer to your house. And if, we can little by little take steps toward that kind of inclusion where we're not jealous of our clients, jealous of our work, but by sharing and really building community, which is something I really appreciated about your whole live series, because I think you're a fundamental part of really building community in the sense of sharing knowledge, sharing abilities, and getting rid of that jealous attitude that so often comes along with our jobs of Pilates, of personal training.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I totally think you should do a conference, by the way. I just wanted to throw that out.
Thanks. Oh boy, that's a different beast. That's a
if you want to throw ideas around, you just
I might have to actually consult with you, considering how abysmal my level of administrative gift is, based on my post this morning. I don't know if you saw it, but my YouTube, I never open up my YouTube thing, right? So like I saw for some reason an alert popped up that someone sent me a message yesterday. And I was like, oh, that's so nice, right? So I answered the guy's question, and the next question down was the guy saying, oh, I need to get back into fitness or something along those lines. 9 years ago, Leslie. So I responded to it like, hey, if you still need some help, I'm glad. So that was my post this morning, saying that like you may not have every super gift. Like administratively, I suck at that stuff. So I was like, sorry for the late reply, but 9 years later.
I mean, I was writing you before this saying, yo, tell me what I have to do to get on here, because I do not do lives and I'm not in the habit. So I understand. The real point, I think, is you have to have a vision. You have to have the right intention behind what you want to do, right?
Yes.
And then you have to find the right people to help you, because you can't, pull the boat by yourself.
Right.
And I have very high standards. I expect my things to run very well. I, have people paying, and I want to give them the best quality service they can have when they're here, which over the years, I've been able to kind of create my own formula. And then I found my people who I can rely on to take care of the things that I need taken care of, so I can concentrate on other things.
Listen to this business mind, people. That is fierce. That's exactly how it's supposed to be. But a lot of times, and this is a whole separate conversation, we want to make it a one-person show because we don't trust people to delegate and all those different things. So we want to have the spotlight. Look what I created. So I'm all about just delegating and getting off my plate and procrastinating a little bit.
I do all of that too. And it's really funny you say, listen to this businesswoman, because I don't consider myself a business person, even though I realize that I am. Because it's really always come from an intention that I had. What do I like when I go to a conference? What do I like when I travel to a different country I've never been to? What do I like, in the presenters that I work with? And so I try to think about the things that I like and create that experience for the other people, which is why living in Palermo, I think I've been able to give a nice experience to the people, because I live here and I, know the space, I know the places, I know what my expectations are, and I can handle the factors. I think if I would have to organize like a retreat in another location, it would be a different ball game, because there would be more variables that I wouldn't be familiar with that would be maybe a little bit trickier to deal with.
Right, exactly. Leslie, I'd love to have you on for an hour at some point, and we could just dive deep on.
Absolutely.
I'm honestly, if you could see the way that I'm like metaphorically sitting on my hands and not going in so many different directions in this conversation, because you said you have 10 minutes. So let's book that. Let's make that happen.
Okay, cool.
Congratulations on a great event. I think that people were just so. That's great that your community got to see like Pilates royalty, right? Like my friends, like like
Right.
Gloria and like John Robb, like some
Yeah.
really cool people. Um, and yeah, and there's so many heroes, there's so many amazing people that are out there, and you're doing a great job. So kudos to you
Thank
for
you.
all that.
Thank you so much, Martin. Kudos back to
Yes.
you. I love what you're doing, and it's really important. So keep it up.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's get a date. Let's figure this out, and
Okay,
I'd love to have you
perfect.
on and we
Let's
can
figure
talk
it
some
out.
more.
Okay,
Awesome.
thanks, everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Gonna have to hit the X button to get out
Okay, I'm
on
on it.
yours, and you get to, there you go. All right. This is like a 30-minute gig, and I think Danica's still in the room. Danica, can you give me a thumbs up if you're still here? I'd love to have you on real quick. Um, yes, thank you so much to all of Leslie's people who just came in. Hello, if you've never been here before. And yes, I'm looking forward to talking with her some more. I should have worked it. I'm gonna watch the replay and just take some notes from that. Yes. Sunny and I have been having some fun on LinkedIn all week. If you were following what happened last Friday when Neil Prasad was on and we were talking about how that's an underutilized place to be. So I've been working on it. She's been working on it. I saw Hannah's in the space earlier. I don't know if she's still here, but she also is doing it. So having some fun working on our business. And Danica, are you still here? She was the catalyst for a lot of these pieces of the conversation. Send her a message. Yes, and I see you. It's tough, man. It's like, how do you do all these things, right? That's the whole question. It's like, when am I going to do it? Like, I think legit, you just had to put it in your schedule, like your workouts. Just schedule it in with all the other stuff that isn't like making you money that you put in your schedule. Workouts, sleep, journaling. It's going to be interesting. What's up, Jamie? I had a great workout day yesterday. I had Jamie in the morning and Martin Phil's workout later in the day. Um, and actually, it's so funny. You do stuff like that, and I just want to like promote people and just say like, hey, that was a good workout, and just like boost people up as much as possible. I got messages from people saying that looks so cool, Jamie, how you and I we geeked out on the tech and had like 2 cameras and stuff. And she's like, I expect this of all of my people from now on, whatever post. So someone said that to me afterwards, and now I think we've just set a new standard for what an online class looks like. Set up your cameras, set a different angle up. Let me see everything from everywhere, and it's fun. And I just happened to find the shirt this morning, so shout out to Kai once again for Who Is Your Joseph. If you don't know what this shirt means, I'm just rambling on while I'm waiting to see if Danica's around. Who Is Your Joseph? It was a core conversation that I had with him. Go look it up, where he was talking about mentor inspires you to movement in the same way that Joseph Pilates inspired one who inspired the next. We all should have some kind of mentor, teacher, coach, a second set of eyes on us in our movement patterns, movement practice that inspires us to be better. So for Kai, I think it's Blossom that he works with and others that inspire him. He's an enthusiast. He's here in these conversations. He's not even a Pilates teacher. He is someone who has been doing Pilates, moving with it, loving it, and is inspiring me as well. So he was saying, who is your Joseph? And yeah, so to have those people in your life. So I just feel like, I'm working with Jamie, working out with Mr. Phil's yesterday. Who is your Joseph? Who is inspiring you and challenging you to be better in your movement, to be consistent in your movement, to move? Who is your Joseph? Love it. All about that. All right, so let me do one more thing here. Dynamics was yesterday. If you didn't get a chance to watch that conversation, talked with Kate, who has a coaching accountability for sobriety. She's a Pilates teacher, and I love how, in the same way that I'm doing this here, or many of you do it with your areas of passion, has married her work with sobriety, her work with Pilates and movement and consistency and coaching and accountability, and has a great program. So she challenges people to stop drinking for 90 days and arms them with everything that they need to make pivots in their life. And people who kind of recognize, I hate to put words in their mouth, because it wasn't just for someone who is like hardcore and needs like straight up intervention. It's people who just want to be better, who want to learn more about their body and look and explore different ways to change patterns and change routines, and just need people to kind of bolster them up as they're doing it. And it's great. I know friends who have gone through the program, and they're so blown away by just the psychology of it, the accountability that's there, the friendships that they build, the reinforcements that you get from that community, that when you're a community starting to reel you back into patterns that you're trying to break, you have a whole support system there. So we talked about that at length yesterday, and I'm looking forward to having her on as well, because like we just flat out ran out of time talking about all these different things. So I thought that was really good what we did, and she's doing a great work with that. Everything is about relationship. Absolutely everything's about relationship. And whether we're having a conversation or we're talking about sales or, Pilates and clients or whatever, everything comes back to relationship. Like one of my favorite lines when it comes to sales, and people, us warm, fuzzy Pilates people who don't want to sell anything, we figure, I just want to help people. Guess what? You are in sales. You are a salesperson, because you're trying to sell your service. You're selling yourself, your confidence, your knowledge, your accountability, your education, whatever it is. Those are things that you're selling. The 5 keys to sales, as I always say, are relationship, 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 and relationship. Figure that out. You build that relationship, and then they see the value, and the sale is made. NY1 Pilates, how are you? All right, Danica was here earlier, and she was going to join me for a few seconds, but then just for a quick chat, but then looks like she's not going to be able to join us. And I have to cut this at the 30-minute mark, as I have a meeting for some other stuff that's going on in my life that I'll announce. I made some announcements on Facebook, and that's a whole separate world that I'm working on in terms of some local stuff. I like a global work, and I have some local work that I'm working on right now. Yes, Hannah, you have, but YouTube, they're all there. Podcasts are all there. If you're a podcast type of person, type in have to put the Core Conversations podcast. Find us on, actually, you can find us wherever. I feel like they're writing on a chalkboard when they're typing in chat while everyone's looking at them. Wherever podcasts are found. How's that sound? Bam. All right, so in the last 5 minutes that we have here, unless Danica jumps in, and I'll stretch out and just rush to my meeting. Pilates and sex. Brenda Freeman is joining us tonight. We had a conversation about this last year. I was really intrigued from talking with her for her women's workshops that she was running at the time. She was doing these workshops when we met initially. And with my counseling background, understanding the struggles that couples had in intimacy, and recognizing that it was more than a technical issue sometimes, it was actually headspace and all these different things. I had a conversation with her because she was a Pilates instructor doing sex ed for women and issues with trauma and all these different things. So we started to talk about that and talk about how she's doing, how she's addressing it. How does she approach that? In the same way that, trauma informed or neuro or muscular or me talking about with men, all these different things, that's her thing. She's figured out a way to do it. Dynamics, they figured out a way to put this stuff together. So she runs workshops, and she'll talk about tonight how she got into that from working with women, doing different exercises, and then someone just bursts out into tears. And understand that there's a background, there's a history, and there's a connection. The body holds trauma. We're going to talk about that tonight and what that actually means. We talk about all these phrases like getting Pilates in your body, the body holds trauma, or holding space for people. Like all these phrases that we just toss around all day long. What do they even mean? So let's take some time with that tonight. She talks about that. She talks about owning your body. Your body is your own. And I'm going to unpack that as well with her. And that has a meaning for me. It has a different meaning for her. And yes, we're talking about sex, and we're talking about that and what that means for the clients that we work with. And when do we have to refer to somebody else? And how do we tie all these things together? I don't want to hype it up too much, but the last time we talked, it's an hour and 54 minutes on Core Conversations YouTube, if you want to check that out. It's too long to even make a podcast. They won't even let me upload it because it's too long to make it a podcast. But it's there if you want to pull segments out of it, if you want to just listen to it. It's a fun conversation. She's raw. She'll say stuff that I probably wouldn't ever say. And come with your questions. Ask questions. Hit us up in the chat. Maybe we'll bring you on screen. And I'm going to be doing it from my house, so you won't even see this in the background. I'll be just chilling in my basement with my notes. And that's what we're up to. And that's about it. So show of hands, bam, those of you who will be there tonight, 7 o'clock for Core Conversations After Dark. Shona, I see that hand. Jenny Allen, how are you? I still want to have you on at some point. Just chat with you. That'd be very cool. That's okay. Replay will be there, Martin. Just reading Shona's comment. I'm trained in womb trauma because of being a doula in Sweden and a mother of 6. Yikes. And in Valley did healing transit. So amazing you're having her on tonight. So important. And this applies to. Yes. So funny, eh? Like I see like mother of 6 and like, hey, and I realize, wait a minute, I have 4 blended family, right? We're table of 6. I feel you. All right, 10:29. Not gonna drag this on because I got places to be, but I want to see you all tonight. Check it out. Do the podcast. Watch the replay of my last conversation with Brenda if you want to get a sense of the vibe of what's going on tonight. And we out. Thank you, Palermo Pilates. Thank you, Leslie, for joining me. I'm looking forward to an extended conversation with you as well. Anything else? 9 blended dog. She only had 6. Okay. Yes. All right. See you all tonight. Thank you so much for joining us today for Core Conversations. We out.